Let's talk about three tiny countries most Americans couldn't find on a map, even if their lives depended on it. Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, collectively known as the Baltics. They're about the size of Ohio, have fewer people than New York City, and sit next to Russia like nervous neighbors at a trailer park barbecue. And yet they might be the most dangerous square miles on Earth, because if Russia crosses their borders, NATO has to fight. No more sanctions, no more strongly worded tweets, real war. So today we're looking at why the Baltics are basically NATO's tripwire, why Russia keeps poking them, and why nuts back there is more relaxed about it than generals in Brussels. The Baltics are flat, very flat. No mountains, no wide rivers to slow down tanks, no deep forests like in Finland. It's just rolling plains. From a military perspective, that means one thing. An armored column can drive across the whole country like it's an open highway. And then there's the Suwałki Gap, a skinny strip of land between Poland and Lithuania. That's the only land connection between the Baltics and the rest of NATO. On one side is Russia's buddy Belarus, on the other is Kaliningrad, Russia's missile-filled exclave. If Moscow ever wanted to cut the Baltics off, it just has to close that gap. Simple geography, nightmare strategy. Now let's talk about recent fun times. In September, 3 Russian MiG-31s wandered into Estonian airspace for 12 minutes. No transponders, no flight plan, just vibing. NATO scrambled Italian F-35s to intercept. Estonia called it brazen. Russia said it never happened, which is basically the international version of pics or it didn't happen. We've also seen recon planes flying with their transponders off, drones drifting into Poland and Lithuania, maritime claims suddenly rewritten by Moscow to make the Baltic Sea feel more like a Russian pond. It's a pattern, constant probing. Russia isn't just flexing, it's testing how fast NATO reacts, who panics, and who yawns. Think of it like a drunk guy in a bar bumping into you over and over, daring you to throw the first punch. Only this drunk guy has nuclear weapons. NATO isn't asleep at the wheel. Operation Eastern Sentry launched this month. Extra air patrols, more interceptors, more eyes on the skies. And the Baltics themselves are building what they call the Baltic Defence Line. Ditches, obstacles, bunkers. Basically turning their borders into the Cold War version of the Siegfried Line. On the tech side, the Baltics are investing in NASAMS air defense, HIMARS launchers, and they've got NATO allies rotating F-35s, Typhoons, and Patriots in and out. Not enough to stop a Russian armored blitz, but enough to make it messy. Here's the catch. All of this is a tripwire. The forward forces aren't there to win, they're there to die first, ensuring that all NATO nations have skin in the game and buy time for reinforcements. And that's NATO's actual strategy. Sacrifice the opening chess pieces so the Queen and Rooks can mobilize. If you live in Estonia, that's not exactly comforting. Now for the toys Moscow has parked across the border. Iskander-M ballistic missiles in Kaliningrad. Short range, fast, nuclear capable. Imagine living next to a neighbor who keeps a rocket launcher pointed at your house, then insists, it's only for self-defense. S-400 air defense systems. Advertised as the sky shield of Russia, covering hundreds of kilometers. In practice, let's just say they've been humiliated by duct-tape drones in Ukraine. Still, NATO pilots treat them like rattlesnakes. Deadly if you're careless. Su-35s and Su-30s. Sleek, loud, and constantly buzzing NATO airspace like teenagers drag racing at midnight. Against F-35s, they're outclassed. But numbers matter. And of course, electronic warfare units. Russia loves jamming GPS, spoofing signals, and hacking power grids. It's like fighting a magician who specializes in really annoying card tricks. But the cards can knock your drone out of the sky. Put together, it's a layered threat. Not unbeatable, but definitely enough to keep NATO awake at night. At the end of the day, the Baltics are sitting on the edge of history. They know it. Russia knows it. NATO knows it. It's a high-stakes staring contest where the loser doesn't just blink, they burn. Nuts isn't stressed. She knows the job of a deterrent force isn't to win. It's to hold long enough until the politicians can argue about who blinked first, while she's already digging a foxhole in the backyard. So what do you think? If you were Putin, would you gamble on NATO's bluff? Or would you stick to buzzing airspace and rewriting maps? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to throw a like to the real star of the show,